This inquiry is from Alan, who wonders, if every human being were to suddenly vanish from Earth, how long would artificial lights continue to shine? Let's begin with the obvious. Most lights would not last long since the major electrical grids would quickly fail. Even though the absence of humans would reduce electricity demand, household devices like refrigerators, air conditioners, and lava lamps would continue to operate. Fossil fuel power plants, which generate most of the world's electricity, need a constant fuel supply, and maintaining these systems requires human labor. As coal and oil plants started shutting down within hours, other energy sources would face added stress, and even with human control, this scenario would be challenging to manage. The consequence would be a swift domino effect of power failures, culminating in widespread blackouts across major grids. Now, nuclear reactors do not require regular fuel replenishment. One nuclear operator mentioned that if a core entered a low power state, it could theoretically operate for a long time, since a uranium cube holds millions of times more energy than a coal cube of the same size. Still, despite having plenty of fuel, most nuclear plants would shut down shortly after problems occurred. These facilities are designed to automatically shut off when faults happen, particularly if the external power grid collapses. Still, not all light sources rely on major grids. Let's explore some of these alternatives and how long they might last. Remote communities, such as those on isolated islands, often use diesel generators, which will function until the fuel is depleted, ranging from a few days to months. Off-grid generation systems that don't depend on human-delivered fuel would perform better. For instance, geothermal plants can continue running for some time without maintenance. A maintenance manual for Iceland's Svartsengi geothermal facility shows that every 6 months, staff must change gearbox oil and lubricate electric motors and couplings. Without people to conduct this upkeep, the systems may function for a few years, but will ultimately fail due to corrosion. Wind-powered lights might operate slightly longer. Wind turbines are built with minimal maintenance in mind due to their inconvenient servicing needs. For example, the Gedser wind turbine in Denmark, built in the late 1950s, generated electricity for 11 years without any maintenance. Today's turbines are typically designed to run 3 years without service, and some might last for decades, possibly with a small status LED still glowing. Eventually, though, wind turbines would also fail. Their gearboxes would seize up, just like in geothermal systems. Hydroelectric generators, powered by falling water, would also continue to operate. According to a Hoover Dam technician, if everyone walked away, the dam could still function automatically for years. But without a functioning power grid, that electricity would have no destination. Eventually, the system would also break down from blockages or mechanical issues, much like the other energy sources. Battery-operated lights wouldn't do well either. They'd all stop working within a few decades. Even unused batteries gradually discharge. Some types have longer shelf lives, but even the best will hold a charge for only 10 to 20 years. Solar power appears to be the strongest long-term contender. There are countless solar-powered off-grid systems, like those on remote weather stations, call boxes, and rural buildings. These usually include lights that activate nightly. Much like turbines, they are difficult to service but can last for extended periods. Solar panels generally remain functional as long as the connected electronics are intact and the panels stay clean. Eventually, corrosion will damage wires and circuits, but in dry climates with sturdy construction, panels might last 100 years, especially if occasional breezes or rainfall keep them clean. If we define artificial lighting strictly, then solar-powered remote lights could possibly be the last human-made lights still glowing. Yet there's another unusual candidate: spent nuclear fuel. Contrary to what the media often depicts, radioactive materials don't usually emit visible light, which is why warning signs are critical near radioactive sites. Old watch dials were coated with radium, which caused them to glow in the dark, but this glow came not from the radiation itself, but from phosphorescent paint reacting to the radiation. Once the paint degraded, the dials remained radioactive but no longer glowed. But those aren't our only radioactive light sources. When high-energy radioactive particles move through materials like glass or water, they emit a faint light similar to an optical sonic boom, called Cherenkov radiation. This produces the famous blue glow seen in nuclear reactors. Some of our nuclear waste, such as cesium-137, is encased in glass blocks and then sealed for storage. In the dark, these glass blocks glow with blue light. Cesium-137 has a half-life of 30 years, meaning after 200 years, the block will still retain 1% of its original radiation. The light may become fainter, but the blue hue will stay the same, because it's tied to particle energy, not quantity. So, in the end, the final glow will come from our most dangerous waste. Centuries from now, buried deep in concrete vaults, this light, emitted by radioactive decay, will still shine.